Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, analyzing leftist insanity every single day. Well, after that opening, what do you think's on the menu today? Of course, more leftist insanity. People very often accuse me of being a shill. I'm a grifter. I don't actually believe what I'm saying, I just say it. For partisan reasons, I only ever focus on the Democrats on the left, because I'm a bias hack. Now, of course, I have to admit I am a little bit biased, not gonna lie there. Some people get it twisted and think I'm a journalist. I'm not. I simply started this YouTube channel so I can crap on communism and get paid for it. It's not more complicated than that. But I'll tell you straight up, on issues like this, I don't do it on purpose to be biased or to be one-sided. I just don't see it happening on the right. If the right was acting loony on a near constant basis, then maybe we'd cover some loony rightoids every now and then. You know, why not? Look at our own side constructively or critically. But the simple fact is, I'm really not seeing it. There's some elements of craziness, but it's not mainstream. It's more just a thing that kind of exists in remote corners of the internet, like 4chan and other places. And it's the same thing with racist topics. You know, the left will claim that the right wing has a monopoly on racism. But I look as far as the eye can see. I mean, I really look for this supposed mainstream, horrible right-wing racism, and I simply don't see it. The only racism that I see these days is the woke version of it, which is, in fact, mainstream. And so you kind of get the point that I'm making. I'm not trying to present a skewed worldview. I'm simply presenting what I see, and what I see on a near constant daily basis is absolute leftist insanity. And it goes from that young little activist on the college campus with the green hair screeching like a banshee. No, it goes all the way to the very tippy top. The politicians are just as loony. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean by that. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so the topic of discussion as of late has mostly been the border. Democrats claim that Republicans are doing Donald Trump's bidding, politicizing the border issue and refusing to fix the issue. They say this as they politicize the border issue in an effort to secure a massive PR win for Joe Biden ahead of the election. They want to give him federal authority to basically shut down the border and fix the problem. But really, it's all theater and a bunch of wasted taxpayer dollars. And so Democrats are claiming that Republicans are politicizing the issue. Meanwhile, Democrat politicians are doing crap like this on the House floor.
Donald Trump speaks about immigrants with the same rhetoric that Hitler did, claiming that immigrants like me and my family, and I quote, pollute the blood of this country. He wants chaos, and he's admitted he even would like to see a recession happening this year. But I want to remind the public and the majority that Donald Trump...
Will the gentleman yield?
I will not yield. I want to remind the public that Donald Trump and House Republicans also have their own ideas for the border. So let's review the majority's border ideas that they've actually presented. Here they are. Donald Trump actually has said that he wants to build alligator moats along the border. That's one of his incredible ideas. Another idea that Donald Trump has promoted is he actually wants to electrify the border fence and maybe even put some spikes on the border. That's another Donald Trump and MAGA majority border idea. Another idea, which I'm not sure how well it would go, is he wants to actually bomb northern Mexico with missiles. That's another Trump idea. And finally, I think one of the ones that I think is the most grotesque is suggestions that instead we should maybe just shoot migrants in the legs as they cross the border. So once again, the Donald Trump and MAGA plan is alligator moats, bombing northern Mexico, shooting migrants in the legs, and electrifying the fence and putting spikes on them. That is the Donald Trump border plan.
Absolutely wild. Apparently, a majority of Trump folk, a majority of Republicans following like blind cult members, want to turn the southern border into an alligator moat and electrify the fences. Oh, and it gets even crazier. Apparently, you evil, deplorable MAGA chuds want to start shooting migrants in the legs. That's interesting, because I thought that was Joe Biden's idea on how to solve systemic racism within policing.
We can do this. You can ban chokeholds. But beyond that, you have to teach people how to de-escalate circumstances. De-escalate. So instead of anybody coming at you and the first thing you do is shoot to kill, you shoot them in the leg. There's ways you have to do more background checks in terms of whether or not the person coming in pass a certain psychological test.
Now, I've provided evidence that Joe Biden has suggested such a thing. I'm now waiting for Democrats to provide evidence that a majority of Republicans and Donald Trump himself believe that Border Patrol should be simply shooting migrants attempting to cross over in the frickin' legs. I mean, how absolutely absurd is that? I feel like I probably would have heard that one, because I feel like if Donald Trump said that, it would be headline news, front page news for months upon months. I mean, they probably would never shut up about it. They're still talking about the whole good people on both sides hoax from back in, I think, 2017. They still bring that up constantly. Joe Biden brings that one up all the time, as well as the lie that the MAGA supporters murdered Capitol police officers on the day of January 6th. You know, I feel like we'd be hearing that a whole lot. I feel like they'd be playing that quote over and over and over again. Donald Trump's an evil, anti-immigrant racist who wants to indiscriminately fire at illegal migrants attempting to cross the Rio Grande. Yeah, not so sure about that one, but that's Democrat political discourse, folks. When we're talking about mainstream craziness, when we're talking about mainstream Trump derangement syndrome, this is mostly what I'm referring to. That is a current sitting House representative, a top Democrat elected official serving in Washington, who in one sentence not only invoked Hitler, but spewed the most insane conspiracy theories I've ever heard. But actually, speaking of the nonsense that this wacko was spewing, in a certain way, I don't think he made the point that he thought he was making. I think the idea here from this Democrat politician was to shock the public with his interesting little Photoshop graphic in the back there. Oh, the horror is probably the reaction that I think he was hoping to get from most people. But of course, another Democrat miscalculation, just like the Ultra MAGA one. Most people, the most popular reaction that I've seen to this ridiculous little political theater stunt was, actually, there's some pretty good ideas there. Obviously, we're not talking about the shooting people in legs. That's horrible. That should be condemned, absolutely. But turning the Rio Grande into an alligator-infested medieval alligator moat, I don't know. Sounds like it might be pretty cost-effective if you think about it. Certainly more cost-effective than manufacturing massive steel barricades and then, of course, having to pay for the installation. I mean, if we're talking about cost-effectiveness, if we're talking about saving money, if Donald Trump wins in 2024, he could team up with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. They could create a task force to go out there in the Florida Everglades to pick up thousands and thousands of alligators and simply drop them in the Rio Grande, and boom, job's done. Illegal immigration crossing over the southern border will pretty much halt overnight. Now, obviously, I'm mostly kidding, but that's kind of the point. People are reacting to this ridiculous clip, just kind of laughing and making jokes and saying, oh, well, actually not some bad proposals. Probably best to laugh at this stuff and make fun of it, to view the satire in it, rather than take it too seriously, because obviously, this kind of rhetoric, these kinds of talking points, this kind of dishonest partisan nonsense shouldn't be taken so seriously. In fact, I think it should be ridiculed because it's just so utterly ridiculous. Yeah, okay, Donald Trump is Hitler and he wants to shoot migrants in their feet. Yeah, okay. Can we please get Democrat Representative Robert Garcia the psychiatric help that he so desperately needs? Like I keep saying in these video, friends, Trump derangement syndrome is the real frickin' pandemic. How utterly ridiculous was that moment on the House floor? Let me know in the comments section what you guys think, of course. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and possibly subscribe if you guys feel like joining us here. Just a fun little video, more leftist insanity, some more nonsense. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.